Hey everybody, we're back. I'm Tami.
I'm Lyric.
And this is All Talk.
Okay, so this week I was just inspired for us to talk about thirst trapping. Because I was looking on Instagram, just in general, social media, you see people, people you don't know, people you do know, you just see everybody. Social media is just a whole world in itself now. But anyway, I've noticed like a lot of females doing the most just in terms of like the types of pictures they're taking, like almost breaking their backs to turn their butt to the camera.
It's a lot of people out there doing that.
Yes, like legs spread, just like, especially if they have on like booty shorts. I've seen people in lingerie on Twitter, just things that should probably be kept to themselves or more intimate.
And we talking about people your age group?
Yes,
I feel
20s for sure.
Because the thing that wears me thin is if you are over 30, 35, you should not be taking no thirst trappity pictures.
Thirst trappity?
Thirst trappity-ish. Thirst trappish.
The vibe of thirst trapping.
Yeah, that's too much. I mean, like, you got kids in their 20s. You shouldn't be on there half naked, as you said, with your butt to the camera or trying to show your gap or your spread or
But
whatever.
you don't feel like it's okay for anyone to do that, right? Like if you were to get on Instagram or to go on my Instagram and you saw me like post a picture with my back turned, like visibly,
I'm not saying it's
trying to.
Okay, so I'm not saying it's right. What I would say is somebody 19, 20, 21, I might could understand because y'all don't know no better. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not, because I know somebody will get slick and be like, well, you've taken pictures in a bathing suit or but that was to promote brands and it was a line that had manufactured bathing suits. So obviously I have to take a picture.
But I also feel like that's, okay, so I think this is a deeper conversation because when you talk about thirst trapping, you're talking about doing that for a specific purpose, right? So what is that purpose? Either to have guys be interested or to have followers.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Which for some it's one and the same.
Okay. Yeah, this is true. This is true. But I feel like that's why you're taking a picture like that, which to me inevitably says you're not secure enough in your life and who you are to just post your regular pictures, or whatever you're doing to gain followers. People, you're doing it to gain a different type of attention.
But some people feel like, well, dang, when I post a picture of me, in a button-down shirt with a pencil skirt and heels, I get 200 likes. But when I post a pic in poom shorts and a crop top, all of a sudden I have 1,000 likes. And for people who feel like social media is everything and followers are everything, for them that becomes important.
And that's a shame because there was a time when there wasn't social media. I come from that era.
Yeah, what was thirst trapping in that era?
You went to the club and was damn near naked to get somebody to look
so
at you and
people would
pay
come
attention
very
to you.
scantily
Dressed, yes. To get somebody to pay attention to you. But even with it, even for that, for me, how I grew up and the girls that I was friends with back in the day, we didn't have to do none of that. We could dance.
You guys would fly.
we would fly. We came, we moved through the place. We was always popular. Like my crew of friends, Keisha, Liz, shout out to y'all, straight ahead, what's good? But we were always lit. You know what I'm saying? And so we didn't have to do any of that. And
so are you getting at confidence in terms of
self-esteem? Self-esteem and confidence.
Because if you feel like, okay, if your group of girlfriends had have been growing up in this era, do you feel like you guys would have done some thirst trapping on social media, or do you feel like you guys could have posted anything and because you were popular?
I really believe in my spirit that because it's proof positive today. There are some people out there who don't do any of that. And they have as many followers as somebody who's
like
half naked,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, it depends on what you feel your value and your worth is and what you want your presentation to be. And I really wish from a parental standpoint that there were more parents who like me, I'm on y'all's Instagrams.
Yeah.
I'm
so
looking.
You would be like, why are you posting?
Yeah, why is your ass out? You know what I mean? Like that would be a problem for me, But I feel like parents aren't parenting. And then when a child reaches a certain age, they feel like, well, they're grown. They can make their own choices,
or the parents aren't even seeing it on social media.
True, and that is true. But you know, I feel like my mom parented me until the day she passed, till she couldn't anymore. And so that's what I come from. So I'm always going to be involved in my children's lives, even though you guys, as I call you, my children, are grown.
You're still very hands-on.
I'm very hands-on. And I feel like more parents should be that way. Because,
but I think now you would come from the perspective not of, take that down, what are you doing? But more so like, why do you feel like you need to do that to get to the root of what the issue was? Yeah. Since we're a different age now, it's not like you could just be like, I feel like you still would be like, you look like a hoe. But you would throw in like, why do you feel you got to do that to get attention?
I would definitely say you look like a hoe, because that's how they be looking. I mean, like, you know, I just feel like, and then I'm torn a lot of times, because you know what? I let people rock. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, why am I so bothered? Why am I concerned with
what people are doing
with this person and what they're doing, or this lady's child? If that lady don't care what her child is doing, then I should not care this much. You know what I'm saying? And you really, I'm torn a lot of times, because I will have an opinion coming from the parent side, and then there's the Tami Roman side that just says, you know, if they want to be a hoe, let them be a hoe. If they want to be a liar, let them be a liar. If they want to be a cheater, let them be a cheater. If they want to cheat on their woman and film it and make sex tapes, let people do that. Okay, let them do what they want to do. That's gonna make them happy, and you mind your business. There's that side of me.
What was that a reference to? Just in terms of,
I don't know. They had said the little Offset boy was caught.
You said, I don't know, but you went right into it. I don't know.
He was caught again. He was caught again in another sex tape. But I looked at the little sex tape and I said, that could be Chief Keef. We don't know. That could be Regis Jerome. I couldn't even really tell who that was in that video. So, you know, we don't know if that's true.
So I wonder why they didn't run with that. If you visibly couldn't tell, why they didn't say that wasn't him.
But that's why I think Cardi didn't, you know, the only statement, she didn't make too much out of it in the statement that she gave, which I think a lot of people have talked about, was she said something to the effect of, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to start over?
Am I supposed to leave him?
Am I supposed to leave him?
I did see that. How do you feel about that? Because I know that if we were to say something like that to you, like if we were to come to you and say, my boyfriend cheated on me, my husband cheated on me, my fiance, because it's her fiance, my fiance cheated on me.
I would say leave.
You would say leave? Mm-hmm. Like, don't even set yourself up to get married to a person who is already.
I would say leave. And then if you felt like, oh, but I really think there's something there, I still want to be with him, then that's why I say, well, then you guys need to seek some type of counseling, you know, and then work your way through this moment so that that's not a repetitive behavior.
Because I feel like the worst thing is to find out something that was happening before you got married and feel like, oh, okay, it'll be fine when we get married.
Right.
And then you get married and it's still happening. I feel like that would be very disheartening.
So, you know, I feel like I would tell you guys to address that. And then there's, you know, here's the thing. I've always said, do as I say, not as I do, right? And so as I am getting ready to open my mouth to say this out of it, I still firmly say to you as my child, if a man is not treating you right, then you should leave. Like, you don't have to settle for anything.
No matter what he has,
no matter what he got going on, what crew he roll with, what kind of bank account he got.
Because nowadays people hang out or stay with people for things that are so simple. Yeah, oh, they hang with this crew.
Yeah, oh, like, that's Breezy's best friend. So, you know, we always at the concert. You know, like little shit like that to keep a bitch with a nigga nowadays. But I'm just saying, for me, you know, I would say to you and your sister, like, that is not what you should base a relationship on. A person has to respect you. A person has to be committed to you. A person has to value you. A person has to appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're worth that. And as I say that, at 47, there's also a side of me now that goes, girl, just make sure your bills is paid. Make sure
so you have kind of a double.
Make sure that things are taken care of. And
so it's a bit hypocritical.
All men is gonna cheat. So
you believe that?
At least there was a time in my life where I firmly believed that. I firmly believed that all men...
you sincerely believed that there was no man walking who would not cheat.
Man walking that wouldn't cheat. That's what I have believed.
Wow, that's a very passionate generalization.
Because I felt like either they were physically cheating or emotionally
like
cheating.
You just felt like no man can just have tunnel vision and only want and stick to one woman physically and emotionally.
I think that's why women go through certain insecurities, in relationships, because you're like, is he still interested? Does he still care? I mean, we've been together 6 years now. Is he still, is he bored? Is it still the same passion? Are we still connected? You think about all that stuff, but then you hear the stories of people who've been married 21 years or 45 years.
But generally when you ask them about their relationship,
there was some infidelity.
Exactly.
And they worked through it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because I've heard those stories as well, but they're always like, well, the key to long-lasting relationships / marriages, because marriage, I feel, is the one that's actually important.
Right.
But marriages is just to work through your issues. You can't just be like, it's over.
Okay, well, for me, I can, because I'm at a point now where, I've already been married, right? And so there was infidelity and other things. And although we tried to work through those things, it never got any better. And so
I think that is the key. I don't think, to be honest, because a friend has asked me this before, like, would you stay with a man who cheated on you? And I said, to be honest, I would weigh the circumstances. Do I have kids is the number one circumstance I would weigh. And then I would say, let's try to get counseling. I don't think I'm going to be that woman to just be like, you cheated on me, bye. And I could be wrong.
Well, I hate to hear that, because...
You do? Mm-hmm. Just in terms of if I have kids and if I feel like, okay, well, let's get counseling and see if you change. Now, if we go to counseling, we're working on things, or I'm thinking we're working on things, and then months later, we have another slip up, I gave it 250%. I didn't just walk away. Now I have to. Now you leave me no choice.
Right. See, that's what I did initially, is because I had, you and your sister. It was like, I want this family to work, and I stayed in the situation and tried to go to counseling and all of that. Spiritual counseling and clinical counseling. A psychiatrist and
just to see what is really
what is going on. So we, I feel like we tried to do it all, and it just didn't work. And so now for me, that's why I feel like it really is dependent upon the stage you are in your life and your development.
Because now
and your
you
growth.
would just be like,
because now it's like, get on down the
You're not
highway.
Even doing
I'm not trying to counsel with you. I'm not trying to do any of that.
But do you feel like you would think that way if you and Reggie, because I know you guys aren't really thinking about marriage right now,
right.
But if you guys did decide to get married, do you think that changes the ball game a bit? Like, it's not just we're boyfriend and girlfriend, it's we're married, so maybe we should go.
No, because no, I don't, and let me tell you why.
You would literally be like, I want a divorce?
Yes, and let me tell you why. Because I feel like I'm talking about this relationship in particular with Reggie. We've been very open and honest about mostly everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think there's any secret. You know what I mean? So I've shared everything with this.
You've been vulnerable.
I've been very open and very transparent. And so within that has caused me to say, and this is what I'm looking for currently now. And this is what I can't have. So you don't marry me
and know all of that. And then do something that would jeopardize.
Yeah. We don't need to get married. We don't need to do that. We don't need to stay together. Like, if you feel like you're the type of person.
You're a tough cookie.
No, I'm serious, because relationships, to me, I'm very serious about them. I feel that there's a certain level of commitment and a certain level of trust that should be, given within a relationship. And for me, it's hard for me to trust. So when I get to what I feel is like, I trust this person. Now, to them, they may feel like, damn, you still bothering, questioning me about this. But But to Tami, I am at a point of like, in my mind, like, even though I questioned you about that, you don't understand because I trust you. Like, you,
right.
Like, I know that I trust you, right? So when I get to that point, I feel like I want the relationship to be committed. I want the relationship to be 100. And if you can't give me that, then you can get on down the highway because I can have fucked up with anybody. I can have fucked upness.
You're
with
like,
anybody.
I don't need to stay with one person repeatedly to get
to be messed over. I could be single, free, and mingling and have all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if I'm going to be in a situation with you where you the only motherfucker I see and you the only person that I'm sleeping with, then you need to have that faith. I would hope that
even if you were single and mingling, that there wouldn't be, you're not even that kind of woman where it would be like sexual activity.
I'm not thoughtish like that. So even from a sexual standpoint or a single and mingling, it's going to take a minute for me to get to the sexual
Because for me, that actually opens another conversation. Maybe I feel that I would stay or try to get counseling and really try to work on it because if I'm waiting for marriage and I give my virginity to the man, it's like I'm just going to get a divorce after all that waiting.
Yeah, no, that's a different thing for you.
So maybe that's where I, like, subconsciously, maybe
But you need to make sure that's straight before you even enter into that because... Right,
but how can you know?
But you're abstinent, right? And that's why I feel like you should be with somebody that was abstinent too.
People have said that, but I feel like that's not as easy.
Maybe you should go on that show, Married at First Sight, like where it's scientifically put together.
Because I want it to be like I want us to cross paths because God is making us cross paths, and I don't think unless I felt in my spirit like, oh, I'm supposed to go on that show. Because you can feel things like that too. Like God can set things up in different ways. But I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm going to cross paths with the person at the right time and place.
And that's why I feel like...
I have crossed paths.
You have crossed and didn't recognize. But I feel... What time is it? I feel like for you, it's going to be... It's going to be challenging. I think it's going to be challenging, but I want to openly acknowledge that we have this type of dialogue and that we have these type of conversations because I feel like undoubtedly it's going to be challenging. You're an abstinent female.
An abstinent black female.
In 2018. And by abstinent, I mean she ain't sucked a dick.
Because people will be like, oh, she might not have...
and he ain't been down in her goodie snacks either.
Right. So there's no goodie snack action.
No goodie snack activity. So fully abstinent. And guys are out here fucking. And girls is out here fucking. So when you get with somebody that likes you and you like them and then you go, hey, you know I'm not fucking, they gonna get on down the highway.
Now, these days, I don't even really say that. I kind of take it easy and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not experienced. I'm a virgin. I don't tell them the future, in terms of like, and I won't be having sex until marriage. I kind of leave that out and just like feel the vibe a bit.
Right.
But normally, even
I feel like they even just down the highway.
Even just talking about your virginity now is like a danger zone for men. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, so really, it's
because maybe they don't want the pressure. I thought it would be in the day, interesting, like and intriguing, like, ooh, I'm about to be the first. But I think nowadays they don't want the pressure of being the first because women are emotional. And so they're the first one. Then you're going to fall in love with them. Then you're going to be, maybe then you're going to be hounding them and they just wanted to hit it and quit it. Maybe that.
You could be right. Just in terms of how they might be thinking about it.
Dang, it's a lot to think about.
It is. And you can never know because you're not in someone else's head.
Right.
So how do you feel about me being abstinent? Because I know that's something that me and Jazz, you raised Jazz and I to kind of take on that mentality. But I feel like after a while you got to the point where you were thinking, well, they're grown, so they're going to life will come around and they'll make their own decision. How do you honestly feel now knowing like, wow, she really still hasn't?
I am so elated because I think that is such a valuable asset. I think that people give away their goodie snacks far too easily and far too early. And it's valuable. You know what I mean? And so the fact that my two daughters are still honoring the way that they were raised is very, very special to me. You know what I mean? It's very, you particularly, because I feel like Jazz is doing music, but I feel like you went through college, which is the hardest time because every guys are coming at you from every angle.
I was thinking about that literally.
The pressure.
Literally, I was like, oh my gosh. And that was something I told myself. I was like, okay, if I make it through college, I'll wait until marriage because I feel like I made it through one of the toughest phases where sex is just rampant.
Oh, the pressure.
You hear about it all the time. So
you did it. You are like my shero in terms of that. But I'm very happy about it. I'm very, like I said, I'm ecstatic and I'm just thankful. Now, having said that, as that left my mouth, I've always been the type of mother that was like, this is what I hope you do, but I'm a realist, and I know that life happens, and situations happen, and things happen, and I've always been very honest with you guys. Like, if at any point you feel like you want to, or you want to do it, I've always been that person.
But you have said, come to me so that you can be
come
safe.
To me, right? Come to me.
Because you don't want to just be out here, busting it wide open, and you bust it wide open and catch something.
There's so much out here.
Or you catch a baby.
That's that. We got a lot off our chest today, too. We always talking. That's why it's called All Talk. But this was good.
It was. I had fun. Got to talk more. I feel like it's good to kind of pull back from the whole pop culture thing all the time and just kind of discuss real life issues.
Real life issues. I prefer to discuss real life issues. In fact, if you guys have something or question that you would like us to address, you can email us. Because I'm going to give you the real. I'm definitely going to give you the real. So if you need advice on anything, you want us to address something from a mother-daughter perspective, just email us. What's the email?
It's askalltalk@gmail.com.
Askalltalk@gmail.com. And then send those letters in, and we'll address them.
And we'll just give two-sided perspectives. I mean, we might agree, but sometimes there's like a younger perspective, a daughter perspective, and a mother perspective.
But there's those rare occasions where
it's possible.
And we'll go from there. So we'll see you next time on Tami and Lyric. All Talk.